Imagine sitting in a tiny public bathroom, mid-business, when a giant man in military boots rips the door clean off your stall. And what he does next is so bizarre, you'll question reality itself. You think you know how this ends? You don't. Hi, I'm Takashi. And this is the story of the weirdest, most unsettling bathroom encounters I've ever had in my life. Buckle up, because it's going to get strange. I've lived in Tokyo my whole life. It's a fast-paced city, full of crowded trains, blinking neon lights, vending machines for everything you could imagine, and people hustling to and from work. I've always worked a regular office job, nothing flashy or high profile. I wake up early, squeeze into a jam-packed subway car like a sardine, put in my hours at a small company office, and then head home. Most days blend together, really. Same route, same faces, same after-work ritual of grabbing a snack at a convenience store before making my way to my tiny apartment. Life in Tokyo can be like that. Repetitive, orderly, predictable. But not that day. That day, something unexpected happened. It all started as a normal afternoon at the office. I was buried in paperwork, tapping away at my keyboard, glancing at the clock more often than necessary, counting down the hours until I could head home. Then, somewhere around 5:30, my stomach made this low, ominous growl. You know the kind, the one that makes you pause mid-sentence and look around, hoping no one else heard it. I ignored it at first. Thought maybe I was just hungry, or maybe it was one too many cups of cheap office coffee. But the rumbling turned into sharp cramps, and by the time I made it to the station, it was clear this wasn't going to wait until I got home. So I darted into the nearest public restroom I could find, one of those older tucked-away bathrooms in a side alley near the station, the kind of place you avoid unless it's an emergency. And this was an emergency. I rushed inside, heart pounding, scanning the cramped little space. There were only 2 stalls. One was occupied, and the other one, mine, was one of those old-style squat toilets. I didn't care. I just needed relief. I locked the flimsy metal latch behind me, dropped my bag, and got into position. Tokyo public bathrooms, especially the older ones, aren't the most comfortable places. The lighting's harsh, the paint peels from the walls, and there's always this faint, lingering smell of disinfectant and something less pleasant. I was just starting to feel a bit better when I heard it. Heavy footsteps, slow, deliberate, boots. Big, clunky, military-style boots. At first, I told myself it was nothing, just someone coming in to use the urinal or wash their hands. But the footsteps didn't head for the sink. They didn't stop at the urinals. They came straight toward my stall. I froze. The steps halted right outside my door. The metal handle jiggled, once, twice, then a violent yank. The stall door rattled so hard I thought it might come off the hinges. I managed to stammer out a panicked, "Occupied," but whoever was out there didn't care. Another pull, louder this time. And then, with one final sickening screech of metal, the entire stall door was ripped clean off its frame. I couldn't believe my eyes. Standing in the doorway was a man built like a bear. Broad shoulders, long, unkempt hair, a faded green military-style jacket, heavy black boots. His face was rough, weathered, the kind of face you'd expect to see in an old crime thriller or a war movie. But what struck me wasn't his size or his wild appearance. It was the fact that he wasn't even looking at me. He wasn't interested in me at all. Without a word, he stepped into my stall, the one I was still very much occupying, and turned toward the back wall. That's when I noticed something, a small square metal panel. It was built into the wall just behind the toilet. It blended in so well with the old dirty tiles that I'd never even seen it until now. The man started tugging at it, hard. He grunted as he yanked on the small rusted handle, trying to open the panel. His fingers left smudges of dirt on the metal. It didn't budge. He tried again, pulling with both hands this time, his face contorting with effort. I sat there, still frozen, unsure if I should yell, run, or just vanish into thin air. Part of me wanted to scream for help. Another part thought maybe this guy was some kind of city maintenance worker, though that made no sense. Finally, after a few failed attempts, the man let out a frustrated sigh. He turned back toward me, his eyes meeting mine for the first time. And then, in a voice that was surprisingly soft, almost sheepish, he muttered, "Sorry." And just like that, he stepped out of the stall and walked out of the bathroom like nothing had happened. I sat there for a solid minute, stunned. The door to the bathroom swung shut behind him. The heavy footsteps faded down the hall, and there I was, still crouched over the squat toilet, staring at a doorless stall, my heart pounding out of my chest. Needless to say, whatever had been bothering my stomach before, gone. Completely gone. Fear is a way of curing indigestion, apparently. I quickly cleaned up, grabbed my bag, and bolted out of there. I half expected to see the guy lurking outside, but he was gone, just vanished into the bustling Tokyo streets. I never found out who he was, what he wanted, or what was behind that hidden metal panel in the wall. And honestly, I'm not sure I want to know. But every time I pass that alley near the station, I glance toward that old bathroom. And I wonder, who was he? What was he looking for? And what would have happened if that panel had opened? Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's something out of a horror movie. Maybe it's one of those mysteries Tokyo loves to keep hidden in its cracks and alleyways. But one thing's for sure, I'll never use that bathroom again. And that, my friends, is the strangest, most surreal encounter of my life. Do you think I should have confronted him? Would you have tried to stop him? Or just done what I did and frozen on the spot? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm seriously curious what you would have done. And hey, if you enjoyed this bizarre little slice of Tokyo life, hit that like button, share it with a friend who loves weird stories. And don't forget to subscribe for more real experiences like this one. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you in the next story.